Weight of Secrets Part 2. Hello everyone, and welcome back. For those of you just joining us, we're picking up the story of Daniel and Emily, a couple navigating the devastating aftermath of a long-held secret. If you missed Part 1, I recommend watching that first to understand the full weight of this moment. Months had passed since the earth-shattering confrontation. Daniel, now living alone in a small apartment across town, found himself swallowed by a silence that was deafening. Every empty corner of his new life seemed to echo with the sound of his regret. He had lost everything he held dear, and the loneliness was a constant, heavy companion. Meanwhile, Emily was surrounded by love. Her children, now grown, with families of their own, were a constant presence. They visited often, bringing groceries, laughter, and the unspoken comfort of their support. Daniel's absence was a raw wound in their family, a void that everyone felt. But Emily, with a quiet dignity that was truly remarkable, refused to let bitterness consume her. She was determined to carry on, not just for herself, but for the family she had built and cherished. Daniel, adrift and desperate, finally sought help. He started therapy, hesitant at first, unsure of how to even begin unraveling the mess he had made. But soon, that hesitation turned into a desperate need for understanding. With each session, it felt like peeling back painful layers of shame and long-buried confusion. He talked about his childhood, about a deep-seated fear of never being good enough, an emptiness that had gnawed at him for years. This emptiness, he explained, had driven him to seek validation outside his marriage, a misguided attempt to fill a void that was entirely his own. His therapist didn't let him off the hook. They challenged him, pushing him to face his choices head-on, to accept full responsibility without excuses, and to learn the difficult, foreign language of true honesty. From a distance, Emily watched her heart with a battlefield, torn between searing anger and a fragile flicker of hope. She had stood by her wedding vows for decades, through every high and every low. And now, even in the ruins of betrayal, a part of her still clung to them. Forgiveness felt like an impossible mountain to climb, but she held on to a belief in redemption, a belief that people could change. Daniel began to write. He poured his heart out in letters, first to Emily, then to each of their children. These weren't letters of justification. They were raw, honest apologies. He owned his actions, acknowledging the profound pain he had inflicted on each of them. The responses from his children were varied. Some were filled with anger, their hurts still fresh. Others offered a tentative compassion, a willingness to listen, but with a wall of caution firmly in place. It was a start, but the road back to them was going to be long and steep. To make matters worse, Daniel's own family couldn't accept his failings. It was easier for them to find a different target. They blamed Emily for the separation, whispering amongst themselves that she must have driven him away. Emily bore their judgment in stoic silence. She refused to defend herself or to speak ill of Daniel, protecting what was left of their shared history with a quiet strength that was nothing short of heroic. As the years slowly passed, Daniel's commitment to change wasn't just a promise, it became visible in his actions. He never stopped going to therapy. He patiently worked to rebuild the shattered bridges with his children, showing up for them consistently, expecting nothing in return. And with incredible patience and humility, he continued to reach out to Emily, respecting her boundaries and her need for space. Gradually, cautiously, Emily began to allow him back into her life. It wasn't a grand reunion. It was a series of small, tentative steps. He wasn't the man she once knew. That man was gone. In his place was someone new, someone transformed by suffering and relentless self-reflection. Their reconciliation was a slow, delicate dance, marked by awkward conversations and hesitant gestures. Trust, once shattered into a million pieces, is not easily glued back together. Emily often found herself wondering if this new Daniel was here to stay. Could he remain true to himself? And more importantly, could he remain true to her? Yet, in the quiet, unguarded moments, something began to shift. Sharing a simple cup of coffee on the porch, the sound of their shared laughter while playing with their grandchildren, reminiscing about the clumsy, beautiful early days of their love. In these moments, Emily felt the stirrings of something familiar, a love that was fragile but stubbornly persistent. Daniel's family, witnessing this slow, gentle rekindling of their marriage, began to soften. They saw the relentless effort Daniel was making. They saw the incredible grace with which Emily was choosing to forgive. They saw the quiet strength of their renewed bond. The whispers of blame faded, replaced by a cautious, growing respect for the couple's incredible resilience. In time, Emily and Daniel found a new rhythm, a new way of being together. Their love, which had been tested by the ultimate betrayal, had been forged in fire. It became something deeper, something more profound than what they had before. It was a love rooted not in naive perfection, but in raw honesty, deep humility, and the hard-won wisdom that only comes from forgiveness. Does Emily still have sleepless nights? Of course. She's human. The shadow of the past is long, and she sometimes wonders if Daniel's transformation will truly endure the test of time. But every morning, she makes a choice. She chooses to believe. As they face the world together, hand in hand, she chooses to believe in the power of their love to conquer even the deepest of wounds. Their story isn't a fairy tale. It's a powerful, real-life testament to the possibility of healing. It's a reminder to us all that even when a heart is broken into what feels like a million irreparable pieces, it can, with time, effort, and incredible grace, find its way back to hope. Thank you so much for listening to Daniel and Emily's journey with me. It's a story with so many lessons about resilience and the human capacity for change. If their story moved you, please consider liking this video and subscribing to the channel for more content like this. We'd love to have you as part of our community. Until next time, take care.